Good afternoon, Stars. Thanks for tuning in to WBTV. I'm Blake Marth.
And I'm John Armpriester.
Today is Friday, December 15th. There are 16 days remaining in 2023. Let's check today's headlines.
The economy continues to grow.
We'll have the door decorating winners later in the broadcast.
And we'll have a live fireside chat with our guidance counselors.
And now for the question of the day. The question is, who is the Pumpkin King in The Nightmare Before Christmas?
Email Radio TV at WBRTV and Outlook, or give us a call extension 3134 if you think you know the answer.
Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do.
In our top story, the Congressional Budget Office announced today that inflation is continuing to drop at a faster than expected pace. It's also being reported that unemployment is expected to rise into the year 2025 and is expected to hover around 4%. The current unemployment rate is at 3.7%. Stock market remains at a record high, which means your parents might actually be able to retire one day.
The Key Club is once again sponsoring the annual Chuck a Duck fundraiser at tonight's basketball game. You can purchase one duck for $2 or 3 ducks for $5. Ducks will be thrown at halftime of the boys' varsity game for a chance to win a $50 Visa gift card. Remember, it's not too late to buy a duck.
The Spanish 4 class will be presenting "'Twas the Night Before Navidad." The presentation is a bilingual Christmas story that has been turned into a full play. The performance will be during 7th hour in the auditorium. Stop on by and enjoy a few good laughs and celebrate Christmas with the Spanish 4 class.
And now Layman joins us with today's special interview.
All right, today we're here with Ms. Query, Mr. Pelly, and Ms. Cheney. And I have a few questions. I might have pronounced that wrong. Sorry. What makes your door stand out from all the others?
Well, I haven't really looked at all the others yet, but there's only 3 certainties in life, and that's death, taxes, and who won this year's door contest. So it's pretty simple. And all the radio TV kids, your teachers in there observing you today, you should look at her right now, Mrs. Lurch, and explain to her who won the door contest. There's really no question.
Okay. I got it. Okay. Do you have any opinion on the matter?
No, I think he said it all.
Okay. How about you, Ms. Query?
I would agree with Mr. Pelly.
Okay. What was the inspiration behind the design?
You'll have to talk to Ms. Cheney about that.
Well, we started off using the famous Chicago Home Alone house as our inspiration, and then we just kind of made it more homey, and then we made it into a front porch.
Okay, I like that. And what are you guys looking forward to most for Christmas break? I'll start with you.
Resting.
It's really not about winning, It's really not about winning, and everybody should get a trophy, but the biggest trophy should go to the winner of the door contest, so I'm looking forward to receiving the biggest trophy of the winner of the door contest.
I understand. Not really, but I understand.
What am I looking forward to for Christmas? I'm looking forward to spending time with friends and family.
Okay. And what about your shirt, Mr. Pelly?
Well, Big Papa's Naughty or Nice list. So we have some shout-outs: Brandon Potter, McKeegan, Shepard, Stever, Stowe, Hibbs, Hobensack. They're all on the nice list. They're our guidance, what are they? Assistants, that's what they are. And they really helped a lot with the door contest and everything. The naughty list: Mr. Hawkins, Mrs. Lurch, Mrs. McClaskey. Admin's still on the board. We're not really sure if they're naughty or nice. We're going to judge that later. So that's Big Papa's naughty or nice list.
All right. I like it. And now on to Carson with weather.
Good afternoon, Stars. Let's take a look at our drone shot. Overlooking the Ramsey's Pond, it's pretty good conditions outside. Let's hope that stays for the weekend. Checking out our current conditions. It's currently 51 degrees outside with cloudy conditions, with winds coming in from the south at 10 miles per hour. The sun rose this morning at 8:01 a.m. and it's going to set around 5:21 p.m. Now let's take a look at our next week's surface map. We got a strong jet stream coming across the country, which should bring mild conditions for next week. Onto our extended forecast. Saturday brings rain with a high of 48 and a low of 37. Sunday is cloudy with a high of 45 and a low of 37. And Monday is windy with a high of 37 and a low of 22. That's all for weather. Now over to Sherman with sports.
Sports, jumping back in time to the 1950s, the Indianapolis Colts are wearing their old uniforms and helmets. And even the cheerleaders will be wearing throwback apparel Saturday against the Steelers. As for the Chargers, they just fired their head coach of 2.5 seasons and their general manager. Reason being, they fell to the Raiders 63-21, as well as trailing 42-0 at halftime. The team owner believes it was coaching and managing to be at fault for where they're standing this season. In Weibo news, the varsity girls and boys basketball teams are both in action tonight. They play host to Southmont, and the girls' game starts at 6, followed by the boys' matchup. The boys' squad will also play here on Saturday as the Mustangs from Fountain Central stop by. If you can't make it, catch all of the action on WBTV Sports. And with that, we'll be back with the answer to the question of the day after this quick break.
Answer the question of the day. The question was, who is the Nightmare Before Christmas in The Pumpkin King?
If you said Jack Skellington, then you are correct.
The teachers who answered correctly are Mr. Baird, Mr. Brunny, Mr. Cunningham, Mrs. Gillingham, Mrs. Lurch, Mrs. Markinette, Mrs. McClaskey, Mrs. Owens, Mr. Riggins, Mrs. J. Taylor, Mrs. A. Taylor, and Mrs. Tolley.
The students who answered correctly are Logan Evelenko, Aries Beck, Charlotte Rural, Cole Goodman, Samuel Hurlman, Arnold Calhoun, Perry McClaskey, Lila Jackson, Ella Kale, Malachi Catterson, Luke Adkins, Bailey Haig, Maddox Gadberry, Artie Malizer, Ethan Barnett, Eli Weekly, Lane Rose, Hannah Bowman, Carson Richardson, Rex Stanley, and Mackenzie Willoughby. And here's a look at our trivia leaderboard. Mrs. McClaskey currently leads the teachers.
And now for the winners of the Christmas store decorating contest.
Congratulations to Mrs. Lurch for winning the high school competition and to Mrs. Swisher for winning the junior high competition.
That's all for today's broadcast stars. Thank you for tuning in. I'm John Armpriester.
And I'm Blake Marth. This is our last newscast of the semester. From all of us